definitely looking for some more different bans. We see Lucian already taken away. Likely we're going to be seeing more of the junglers, especially things like Jarvan and Vi. When I look at what it's kind of looking like, we are going to be seeing top esports with first pick, so if you're going to let either of those champions through, I imagine TES are going to look to snap that up. Also, Ori still on the table.
Yeah, and you know, we're starting to see the bans get tilted a little bit more towards Creme and like what he's really good at. Obviously, this Cassiopeia is something that is picked by most, but he is particularly good on it. With that Ori game gone and the loss on it, does make things a little bit harder in terms of, you know, the quality of his champion. He's really good on his Syndra, but after that, you start to see like some of a drop off where he's back to being a top level mid, but maybe not the level of mid that we expect.
Ryze is banned. So JDG have a very specific matchup they want to go for. You can play a Kali, which if top esports win this series, I would say is a rather good champion to have taken out of Creme's pool. And with the lock ban, it almost felt like JDG were being tested. Like, hey, are you actually going to give this champion up? Or are you going to let Creme play another one of his like staple champions right now, which is the Ryze? So Orianna strong team fighting. But that does mean that we're giving up either Jarvan or Vi, and it seems like the answer for JDG is going to be the lady with the fisticuffs.
Hear me out. Let's go back to the days of Tristana mid, baby. Let's go hop on top of this Orianna and blow her up immediately.
I had to hear me out into probably the worst thing I've heard today, so just going to ignore that for right now.
Traditional good matchup for Tristana.
Yeah, and Tristana's also gotten nerfed because Riot Games hates marksman mids, so...
I mean, sure, yes, that is factual. We're going to get the Galio instead here, so we are, you know, carrying our Galio into the fight by Vi coming through. A lot of good base damage coming out of this mid-jungle duo early, but as the game goes on, they're going to wane in damage effectiveness for sure.
Yeah, for now, and we know Galio has kind of been changing his build. It doesn't seem like all of our pros kind of have agreed upon like what the build is. We've been seeing like Abyssal Mask, we've been seeing Proto Belts, we've been seeing Rocket Belts, we've been seeing things like the Imperial Mandate, so we'll see what he's going to be looking for. Definitely kind of take some of the onus off of HongQ to kind of win. And I think we also saw that reflected in the first draft. He's playing this Victor. He's kind of being a lane bully, but he doesn't actually have to like be super aggressive in the laning phase. It just ended up being that way because, again, the level 1 was so skewed in his favor. JDG have like a decent way of setting up a lot of fights or starting fights. Top esports are just going for a lot of upfront damage. Renekton blind. You take away a lot of what Xiaoxu wants to play already with Fearless, and I think you just have like a pretty okay team fight set up already with the damage you have.
Yeah, and for JDG, you really going to need something out of this top lane that can also get in there, but also provide a lot of damage. You know, the Gnar will be fine at doing that, but if this is your lock-in and this is one of your 2 linchpins for damage in this game, I do not have a whole lot of confidence that JDG are going to be able to keep up with the firepower of what top esports has. So we head to the second half of the draft.
It depends on if we can punish side lanes. I think Galio and Gnar are very susceptible to a Pantheon ultimate later in the game, coming down, trying to find them alongside Ori or Renekton, trying to pin them. So I think it's going to have to be really, really interesting for JDG, how they play sides and how they're going to be playing around these team fights. We get in the second phase. AD carries are all up and ready to go. We saw Yunara get banned in the first phase. We saw Lucian get taken away. And now we're getting Kai'Sa, Caitlyn. Probably going to be looking at things like Corki next, or even the Varus, which I know has been nerfed, but definitely still has a lot of value for both teams.
I was just thinking about how Kai'Sa would have been such a good pickup for JDG, not only because of the team comp, but Gala really showed out on it on that match against Thunder Talk, but top esports very well aware. So yeah, I really think that does bring it down to something like the Corki, like you mentioned. Other than that, you don't really have anybody who's going forward that is a pickable AD carry in the current meta. Like you're talking like Samira or Nyla, which we have not seen in I don't know how long.
I know Neela got picked in LCP, but I think he also won that game. It's Doggo, so you know they're going to be winning some game.
Maybe they've been taking notes.
Don't think that's going to be the case. I like this Kalista ban. Kalissa's been rising in priority, especially with more of the 2v2s being around engaged supports. Lulu being picked up. Lulu without Yunara. So are we going to play like Lulu Sivir? Are we going to play Lulu Aphelios? I know the Runon's change has been kind of going through. Ooh, Lulu Kog'Maw into this team is actually very good.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Well, we'll see what the move is going to be for Top Esports. You can't really take that away once the Lulu has been picked over. So maybe you'll just go for some dominance. Maybe you'll just elect to split the difference in the late game as well by just taking a Sivir. Instead, it is going to be the Xayah to try to be self-sufficient, protect yourself against that Vi, and the Rakan for the disruption of what JDG are going to try to do, I really like.
Yeah, Xayah Rakan into Vi and Galio just sounds like a miserable exercise in futility for JDG. They're trying to see Sivir or Zeri. It's kind of up to Gala. Personally, I would really like the Sivir, just the wave clear that you have access to. But Zeri also just has so much ability to outplay, especially because Top Esports are rather short-ranged in what they want to be able to accomplish. Really only the Xayah and the Orianna. But I look at these team comps, Yanni. You have a couple of melees that are going to accentuate Rakan with Battle Dance and the quickness. I see a JDG composition that, if Gala is not ahead, have a astounding lack of damage. But the team fight is there, and we get to 4 and 5 items. I really like what Gala can do if he's allowed to stand, but he's a short-ranged AD carry playing into a Pantheon and an Orianna.
The bad news for JDG is that their comp and Top Esports comp and how they interact with each other requires Top Esports to not twist their ankle out of the gate. So the onus is really on the other team to not mess up. The problem is they did that exact thing in game 1. I think if Top Esports can level out the early levels here and kind of play their game, hit level 6, and then start to progress the game from there, they're going to be in a great spot provided the first couple of plays work out.
Well, we said that about Top Esports last game. It was coming out to, start swinging, start winning early, start looking good. Didn't end up really going in their favor, and now JDG kind of falling back on traditional kind of team fighting. Just play around a Galio with a Vi. She has so much access. I think if Orianna is targeted in this game, Top Esports are going to have a very hard time entering and starting fights for the team.
What do you think he's going to go itemization-wise? We'll hold that thought as we hear the Gyos here for Game 2 of what could be the final best of 3 of the day.
全军出击!
I think in this game, if I see a Rod of Ages or I see a Merc Tread Boots, I'm going to be super depressed for Orianna.
I agree.
I would want to see a one-shot build. I don't think anybody on this team is going to be building a ton of magic resist, so likely we should just be seeing that be the case. And yet another example that Sivir level 1 can be dangerous if you play your cards right, and if you have a range support, but that's it's a bit besides the point, and also doesn't really fit my narrative.
I was just thinking, another day, another moment where a team walks up to a level 1 Sivir and immediately loses half their HP, and JackeyLove is really getting worked over now as Zhuo is even starting to take a little bit of extra damage. Guys, you must find a way to walk away from the minions when the bouncing blade happens. Also, shout out Pack Sivir, 6 skin.
Yeah, but then I can't hit the minions.
I have the fidget spinner for that. You know, there was a fidget spinner that they gave out with that skin. I have the fidget spinner.
I didn't know that. Oh God. So Tian's here. He looked like he was actually about to path top lane, but they want to see if they can punish this. I don't know how realistic this is going to be. There is still a flash and a cleanse here for the Sivir, and the waves now hitting the turret.
You have no heal. We're going to immediately look onto Vampire with the Blade Caller too. Means it's first blood to Tian. Zhuo is going to fall on the backside, but now Gala is getting run down by the Pantheon. Will force the flash out of there. A 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, it's going to be the trade of supports, but the kill goes over to the Sivir. And I just look at what JunJia's been doing here. He full cleared this entire time. Please do not get solo killed into the Galio.
I was so ready to just say, pack it up and go home. take this loss, but
Oh,
these
I
are not the
misspoke.
worst.
I misspoke. Tian gets first blood. That is a little problematic, right? Like, obviously, getting the Xayah... Okay, Xayah recalled and got refillable, but got a longsword. Cold longsword here for Gala. Very big win.
HongQ is so cooked here. Gonna get a flash for flash, but the spear from long distance means Tian get his second.
Yeah, alright. 2 kills here for Tian. That's about as good as an early game, but now they've put so many people mid. JackeyLove, ring-a-ding-ding, brother. It's time to lose the wave. You're going to play 1v3 underneath your turret and potentially lose all of this. Does he lose his flash as well? Oh!
Oh, the Gnar hop. Zuian gonna turn around. They get the flash out, but they can't
Oh,
close
Tian's
the
dead!
Tian's dead! Tian's dead! Xiaoxu plays the 2v1 perfectly.
And look at all of this experience that they are missing out. That play onto mid turned into a kill for Tian, but it may have just backfired here. This is a ton of golden experience that JackeyLove and Jewel are missing. That's a full wave and a half that they just did not get to touch there. Jewel win mid to help Creme and Tian make that play, but big ramifications for the team now as JDG, top lane, they just got to outplay a 1v2 dive.
Yeah, conditions are really good for JDG right now. It's up to Tian to really take control of this game. He has not been the same guy in Split 3 compared to Split 2 when we thought he was an MVP candidate. And he is really going to have to be the guy this time around. Show why he can earn your All-Pro vote here in Game 2.
I wish, no offense, Yanni, I wish Lennon could have casted this series just so that I could show him the hubris of voting potentially MVP, or even, I'm not going to say it. But, you know, as bad as that was, Tian is still pretty far ahead, right? Like, he dropped a lot of camps to make that happen, and JunJia ended up taking a very similar kind of approach by just completely cutting out JackeyLove from that early game. So we'll see what comes of it. We still have yet to really feel the ramifications of that play, but the upfront shock of the actual happenings definitely left a bit of a dent, and even a plate here for HongQ definitely feels pretty good.
Well, with Top Esports having this early game slanted team, I imagine they'll be the first ones on the Dragon. Tian is behind an EXP, is going to hit level 5 off of this. Should. Nope, he's just short. This is why I don't jungle. This is why I don't jungle. So he's down about a half a level.
Vampire.
Vampire walks up when he shouldn't. The polymorph is there, but you are still going to fall, and JackeyLove is on the board.
Yeah, that one we can't do, Vampire, because your AD carry is just now walking back up. It's just, you know, they played the 2v2. It's kind of what Zyrakan does. And also the flash was not yet off of cooldown. Tian got spotted, so they know both junglers are near mid. They're crossing to play against this top scuttle. Turns into JDG, looking like they're going to get the first dragon of the game. Their bot lane's already pushing. Tian prioritizes his raptors and the top side scuttle, and he hits level 6 after he finishes these two, but Xiaoxu could just drop into fog and will not get pressured with this Pantheon ult that's looming.
I think giving up the Dragon's a pretty big loss for Top Esports here, especially with this JDG comp that we said just has to go late. You did decently in the early going. You're only down 300 gold. You got to kill onto Gala. He's up gold. Now you're just taking away Dragons from Top Esports. They're not going to be able to get an early soul. You're just going to buy yourself more time. I'm very, very concerned about Top Esports.
Hey, but guess what? Tian gets blue buff, and maybe he gets Gromp as well. So
Whoa.
Who's the bigger winner here?
Xiaoxu could find himself in trouble if Tian wants to come over. He doesn't have a stun, because he used it on the Gromp. Xiaoxu is going to have to retreat to his turret. He does not have flash.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Zuian just uses his dominus like that. Pretty dry. Not the biggest fan of that. So Tian, if we take stock of what just happened, Tian gets his raptors, he steals blue and Gromp, and likely he will get this scuttle as well, but maybe dies?
It will certainly come at a cost, and they're going to go all in on him. The Justice Punch, the taunt, and HongQ takes him down.
Doesn't flash, doesn't look for another play. I feel like JDG are still just winning this as like if we're just talking about this from like an economical standpoint. Like now JunJia gets to steal Krugs. Xiaoxu is under literally zero threat because we just saw them do nothing. Not going to be a dive, but you also got the dragon, and they get to control all of this top side. JDG are just making the right decisions, I think, at the right time. Sure, there are some flubs here or there, but just consistently, I would say, if we're just looking at all of the plays made in this game, on average, JDG have made the better one in trade.
Yeah, and this is going to delay the first grand starfall of the game. Like, we haven't seen Tian really use his global ability yet. Obviously, he just hit level 7, so he hasn't had too much time. But now, Top Esports aren't going to be able to pick up these grubs. I think Xiaoxu is going to be super happy about that. And things are just looking good for Jindong Gaming here in Game 2, a team that has been consistently inconsistent since Split 1, and are certainly showing signs that down the stretch they are picking up their play.
Hey, this team is technically the perfect 500 team, all right? They're 6-6 in series score. Before this series, they were 16-16 in games, but now they're 17-16. So they win another one, they'll break that completely, and they'll put themselves at a nice small lead in the standings. But 7-6 isn't exactly going to do a lot of damage. Top Esports could still lose this series, and they would get third. Regardless. It's all about whether or not JDG can improve their standing points and really give fans and the community a little bit of hope going into the postseason.
You're feeling pretty good about the way this series is transpiring. I mean, we did talk about it a little bit ago that Top Esports is leaking oil down the stretch here, and it feels like they are a team that has a tendency to do that at times in the regular season, where they start dropping some games that they really shouldn't. But I mean, if you end the regular season 2-4 in your last 6 with, you know, losses to LGD and WE and JDG, you have to feel very concerned about that, not only as a Top Esports fan, but as somebody in the organization, as the coaching staff, as these players. As we hit a pause, it's that damn wireless mouse.
Yeah. Maybe someone on Top Esports is asking where my jungler is.
Guys, I haven't seen him. He apparently has an ultimate, but he may have used it to get out of the map. He has not been here.
I've never seen him. We don't know what the pause is. I'm not gonna even. It didn't seem like there were any like fights. It didn't seem like anybody was like really freaking out or some pings. So I imagine maybe a small technical issue. Maybe if we didn't have so many electronics on stage, I could just make stuff up.
Honestly, facts. What we really need here is for our players to play on. Oh God, what is the Oh God, why can't I remember what this is? The thing that's a keyboard but is not a keyboard, the old one. I can't remember the name of the item, what it is. That people would write papers on. People would write papers on, like in the olden times. Typewriter! I couldn't remember what a typewriter was. We need these players on typewriters.
I would hate. That's actually the true end game of all mechanical keyboards, right? Is like I don't get it, but like for some reason the society moved away from typewriters, obviously for digital screens and the ability to do like have all this data. But then mechanical keyboards came out, and it's now how loud can I get the clack to go? Like clack, 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 like sit there. No one wants that, man.
What do you mean? I like that. I like having a mechanical keyboard. We're back! We're back in the game. Top Esports can need some mechanical help here in order to try and pull this game back. We are, again, still waiting for Tian to make an impact with his ultimate.
I'm waiting for Tian to give me something really exciting in this game, because last game made me a bit sad. And I know from checking in on chat after game 1 and some things happening, there is both a defense of the dark arts and also an assault going on against Tian's character in chat. So
let's not assault his character, but you can assault his gameplay for sure.
I don't think they're assaulting his character. They're just asking, like, where's his brother? Okay. All right, nice
well,
flash.
there he is. Big knock-up by Vampire to interrupt that. Couple of turret shots get taken to JackeyLove.
Oh.
Got stunned. He's got to use his ultimate to try to escape, and he still dies for it. JDG are outplaying dives left and right here in Game 2.
That was just perfect from Gala there. The cleanse to get out of the battle dance and the quickness, then the flash to avoid Tian and the rest of this fight. JDG are just outplaying their opponents, at least in the last game and a half at this point. Like, we're just seeing them make plays on bottom lane. They're winning that top lane skirmish in a 2v1 for Xiaoxu. Even though we've had criticisms for him in his team fighting, he has just been able to really hold on, and JDG are coming out the better for it. They're winning everywhere on the map.
They look particularly inspired in this game. We have a teleport coming through for our Orianna. Creme gonna look to join this play as JunJia has to flash away. But the shockwave is still up. Gala ultimate coming in to try to turn this fight around. The ball's down in the middle as Creme is looking for a good shockwave, but his support dies. And guess what? He might die too. He had to shockwave himself. He's forced to flash away. Tian chasing down Gala, but isn't able to clean him up. Forces the flash on a Vampire that turns onto HongQ now with the Justice Punch. The big taunt onto 2. They've got a big turnaround as JackeyLove is forced to flash away. JunJia getting a shield still lives, and Top Esports cannot close on any kills.
That's a blast shield diff if I've ever seen one there. JunJia survives with barely enough HP, and Top Esports are trying to punish JunJia. They're trying to punish Gala, but it's just too little damage here. It is a Pantheon and a Rakan. We are never killing these guys. Look at Creme. He's trying to get onto someone. He's trying to find an ultimate here. But HongQ with the hero's entrance, flash taunt 2 members. It just doesn't make enough of a difference here. Creme has to flash out of this play after putting the damage onto Galio. That's enough for me. Tian is looking for anything in these fights, and this was clutch. Tries to flash out, but it is not enough distance here. What is it Vampire? Oh my god, Vampire gives him just one last shield, man. Vampire is clutching it up on the Lulu. I thought, hey, you make that play, you exit out, you go for the dragon. Top Esports get nothing from that play, and now it is just loss after loss after loss mounting on top of each other for Top Esports.
If JDG win this game and the winners club wants to vote for Vampire, I'm in. I'm supportive of it. All of a sudden, they are no longer the losers club. They are back to being the winners club. JDG looking to join the winners club themselves, up 2,500 gold with a dragon available. We got a lot of members down on the bottom side, in the area at least, and you know that JDG is likely to fancy themselves another fight after just winning this one big. A lot of flashes down on both sides though, so you have to be wary of that shot.
I think if we look at these 2 team comps with no flashes, I would still prefer to be Top Esports, but down 2,500 gold, and I think the calculus behind this fight does change a little bit. Dragon is still being taken here. Top Esports are in position, but JunJia can just use his ultimate. HongQ has Hero's Entrance coming up. Timing on it is not there. Top Esports will grab the dragon, but you're still winning. Sivir's still going to be able to shove this Xayah underneath her turret.
Hey, we talked about it earlier. By JDG taking that first dragon, they're like, great, we gave ourselves an extra 5 minutes of scaling later on in the game. If they just want to give up these dragons, they are not forced to fight for them at all. If you want to just wait for Gala to get his items and Xiaoxu to continue to whittle down this top turret because he's got these grubs.
Well, here is that itemization talk we were listening about, particularly looking at our mid laners. It's an Abyssal Mask for HongQ. He's not going to go for things like the Hollowed Radiance to try to get some more wave clear. But he also goes for armor boots, right? You're going into 380 champions. I think this makes sense. Creme going for Blackfire Torch and tier 3 Lucidity boots. You have a ton of ability haste, but doesn't have the same raw damage that a Luden Zeko or the like is going to have. Okay, Zuian, I know you're being cheeky here, and it does give a window, so I think being able to cancel that now means that JDG are never really going to be in a position to contest Herald.
And you say that, and they are looking to contest.
Okay.
Multiple teleports coming in. We have a Mega Gnar coming in but for how much longer? Zuian is in the thick of things. Xiaoxu shows up as well, is going to ult Zuian, who is very low, but is still alive. Meanwhile, Gala has to contend with Tian on the back line. This is not the greatest fight in the world from JDG, but they peel back and get it done. Shockwave with the Blade Caller lands onto 2, but now Zhuo's forced to flash over the wall as JDG continue to run with HongQ leading from the front. Zhuo will escape, and JDG end up winning the fight, but it's Top Esports who claim the Herald.
The shot calling in these fights is really suspect to me, man. From Top Esports perspective, you got the Herald, but I think we traded too much for this play. Galio gets to hit the wave top lane. JunJia's trying to steal away a red buff. He will not get punished for his transgressions. And really the calculus for this play is now kind of out of order for me. Like, we get this, and Zuian lives for a long time with Dominus plus his, all of the healing that he gets. But then Tian ults, and this puts Gala in a really weird spot, but then the damage is just not able to fall. Look where Creme is. Look where JackeyLove is. He's being held against his will by Xiaoxu, and that just means all of the damage that we were expecting from Top Esports, it's not coming from Renekton, it's not coming from Xayah, and it's not coming from Tian. So you just are not able to finalize any of these kills in a real manner. I think JDG, despite not winning the fight, are really, really strong right now. They have a 3,000 gold lead, and Top Esports almost feel like they're getting desperate already at 17 minutes.
Yeah, at this point, it feels like you're forced to fight because this game is not getting easier for Top Esports. It is not getting better. You need JDG to make some critical errors, and even then, their team composition is so resilient that they're able to survive through some mistakes.
I saw the vision, Zhuo. I saw it. You got the battle dance down, and you're like, ooh, he got hit by a blade caller. Can we play? And he presses tab. JackeyLove's like, yeah, I don't have Navori. He's got a pickaxe and a cloak. Intuition tells me that that's Infinity Edge second here, which, I mean, you get an attack speed from the Utals, but I'm not, like, super excited about the prospect on that.
I'm not either, but maybe he just feels like the rest of my team has no damage. We are incredibly vegan, so I need to be the one dealing damage, and, you know, this is what happens sometimes when you are under so much pressure. You are this great player in JackeyLove, and you determine that I have to be the guy this game.
See if we can punish Xiaoxu, but this is a 3-level difference between him and Tian, and he has the ability to just jump away. We're bringing 4 people for this.
I think they might be able to get him. He is starting to get pretty mad, but he's only going to be mad because he's dead. As Top Esports send the house.
Cool. JackeyLove is going to hit this wave. They're all staying. We've got no grubs. Doesn't seem like JDG will be able to trade very much. Likely we're going to be looking at a mid-tier 1. Alright, so we caught the wave, and then we still lose the mid-tier 1. This is kind of my problem. Like, someone needed to stay for this turret. I know Dragon is spawning, but, like, I really wish we would have just gotten this gold. And likely if we get this turret and the next wave, we actually just get Infinity Edge, but you can make the argument that then we can't fight because then we can't spend the gold that we just got. I like this from Top Esports. Ignore the Dragon. We're not under any threat of a soul being stacked here. Let's just get gold in our pocket right now. Give this gold over to Orianna. We still have the Herald. Probably just going to take top tier 1, and then we can drift this into mid and get ourselves a mid tier 1 if we're lucky.
Yeah, it's a fine trade, but the only problem is you're not getting anything else other than the turret, right? You know, typically you're really liking these trades when you can not only get a turret, but also get a kill in exchange. And, you know, Xiaoxu obviously wasn't quite there for them to go after him, but even if he was, it's not like they were going to kill him anyway.
And JackeyLove is now 400 to 500 gold off of Infinity Edge. So we'll see what he's able to do. Zuian, great patience. He's going to be able to hunt them down, but it's Stridebreaker, so Stridebreaker versus Tier 3 plated steel caps means this is going to be a noodle fight between these guys.
Yeah, with Imperial Mandate plus Abyssal Mask, I have a feeling that HongQ is going to win that one over time. We're going to get Xiaoxu back into the Renekton to try and work down this bot Tier 1 with these grubs. They're going to send HongQ back up top. The 4-1-1 Galio, such an imposing force in this game. and is a wall that top esports have found themselves unable to break so far.
So, Black Cleaver for both of our junglers. I do think that this is a bit more impactful for top esports where they have more attack damage carries on their team. And Infinity Edge, like you mentioned, you won't have the permanent uptime of your Feather Barrage or your Blade Caller, but you will have a ton of upfront damage. We are TP flanking with Creme. Oh, no Meganar. Kill this guy.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for a turn. Zhuo gets in there. They're going to get onto JunJia. Does pop his ultimate, but he will go down all the same. Another good look from top esports, and they want more. Xiaoxu's going to be the next target with the stun. Zuian's just got to get to him, but there's no minion wave. They are going to try to dive this guy, and they will get their man. Meanwhile, on the backside, JackeyLove taking a really aggressive route is forced off by JDG's bot lane.
Yeah, but look at the trade here. It's 2 kills and it's 2 turrets being traded. You'll get the one in bottom lane tier 1, but Sivir gets to hit the mid lane. Instead, opts to move out, so I thought they were going to overextend. JDG don't actually get those turrets. If they get this kill on the HongQ, this is looking really good.
Oh, he got stunned. There we go. This is what we said that top esports needed. Knock down some structures, get some kills. We have some all-the-way pings to Baron, but they're from JDG just to make sure that vision is there. But top esports making some plays to try and claw their way back in.
All right, they just ate up 1,500 gold out of the 3,000 that JDG had previously. I'm not mad about that. I thought it was going to be 2 turrets. I thought with 3 grubs here for Jindong that Galio and Sivir would just very easily push these turrets over. Wasn't the case. And, I mean, they got some pretty decent kills. I'm liking it. I think this is a good way to get yourselves back into the game. I'm also looking at JackeyLove is still going longswords. So, is this LDR? Is this something else? I'm just so surprised because Navori, while yes, it is a staple, it is very clearly one of Xayah's best items. Just attack speed on this champion. She has a ton of attack speed multipliers already, and she is a champion that needs to get a ton of them out because of how her kit works with her feathers. And just being able to reduce the cooldown on such important spells on your basics is, I think, one of the reasons why she is so powerful.
No doubt about it. Whenever you have your deadly plumage pretty much off cooldown in these fights and you're able to get off multiple, you're in a good spot. This does mean that JackeyLove is going to have to be selective for when he activates that because it only lasts for 4 seconds. So that's going to be the difference maker in some of these fights when you've got such low attack speed like he has right now. Seeing a lot of pings generally around this top side just to catch that top wave. We have less than a minute until the next dragon is available. We didn't really talk about it, but it's a Cloud Soul in this game, so some benefits here for both of these squads really if they manage to claim the soul, but JDG are certainly looking like they might do it first.
Sivir's like, wow, I get a Cloud Soul this game. I press ultimate and get 1 kajillion movement speed. Feels great. You know, like, I'll take that any day of the week and maybe twice on Sundays for myself, but no damage, at least not immediate damage in the easy to calculate formula. This kind of lead me to believe that we're likely not going to get a ton of contest on dragons, at least not for a while. It seems like Baron is the most pressing issue. JDG with 3 grubs means that Baron is very, very dangerous if they get time to hit turrets. And no one's answering Galio. Galio's been getting a lot of time to even up the farm, and thanks to HongQ being 4-2-1, he kind of gets to just be up in gold. Look at Gala, fearless, just stepping up to JackeyLove.
I was thinking that maybe JDG would let this dragon go because Gala's not on Infinity Edge, but it looks like they're just going to hit the go button. Big ultimate's coming through. Huge disruption on the backside of the shockwave is pretty solid. JackeyLove just doesn't have the HP to keep pushing forward, and Gala lives on a sliver, but Creme is looking to clean him up, speeds himself up, but now it's Xiaoxu trying to chase Creme. It's chase for chase, and Gala gets into the Cloud Drake zone and will be able to escape. It's another win for JDG, and a pause on the back end.
What is going on? What are the pauses go? Is there anything else that's really relevant until we get this issue solved? And wait a minute. We're back in the game. Sorry, everybody who wanted some tangents. We will just have to continue talking about the video game.
We could always talk about Tiramisu if you wanted.
No, I don't want to get into trouble.
JDG
I'm not
walking
getting
to
into
the
trouble.
dragon here. and they're going to be the ones to start this up nearly 4,000 gold. Gala has now gotten his Infinity Edge. We'll get to take a look at the replay, and then keep your eyes on Creme, please.
JackeyLove just took too much damage. Why did we walk back into the Galio ultimate? He gets hit with this, and that gives him the vulnerable attack. We don't even get to see the whole fight! We're going straight into the dragon! Alright, let's see it. JackeyLove is back at the base! Why are we contesting?
Alright, we're using teleports. This is messy! Oh, Zhuo goes in, gets slammed up against the wall. Shockwave lands on the 2, but it doesn't matter. Taunts down onto Zuian, but it looks like JDG want to play out here. HongQ trying to hold the front line flash over the wall. Gala, but Gala lives, and Tian will not. He will fall. Top Esports are chasing JunJia, but the turnaround is there. The taunt is there. This is going to be the messiest clean ace I've ever seen, but it's actually not that clean as HongQ and Gala fall. It is an ace regardless for JDG.
All right, I can't wait to get right back into a replay here, guys, because we got out, we came back in, and JackeyLove has to recall before the dragon spawns. Gala died to a errant blade caller from JackeyLove, but this was just a really, really rushed fight here from Top Esports. I don't understand the onus behind why we see TES even going for that play. So, we're here. They're already in the pit. Guys, just pick up the top wave. Go towards the bottom lane. JDG are happy to take this fight. They know, hey, JackeyLove is nowhere here. Finally, he joins, but he's already late. And Tian flies over to try to find Gala, but we cannot fight in a choke. This is such an easy fight for JDG to play. Here's JackeyLove. Blade Caller, it's 3 feathers getting him. And if JackeyLove had Flash, which he lost in that last fight, maybe he wins this. Maybe he wins the entire fight, and we're talking about a Top Esports that are smurfing. That is just not the case. Xiaoxu picks up the double kill there, and now it is Baron being started with a JDG on the precipice of taking a 2-0 win.
And Top Esports, for as aggressive as their composition has been, currently have no response, but they are making a breakneck pace toward this Baron. It will go the way of JDG. Will Top Esports fancy themselves a fight? Creme is kind of frontlining at this point, just trying to keep Xiaoxu away, but now he's about to go mega. So Top Esports only getting shoved on this mid wave here, aren't going to be able to do anything else.
JDG are completely fine with us fighting right now, even if Xiaoxu goes into mini. But let's spend our gold. We're going to be able to get a little bit more back out on the map. And now we enter the ARAM. It is Xayah with 3 items sitting in mid. And versus Baron buff plus Sivir, I feel like she completely invalidates any potential of us doing this. JDG are playing to the beat of their own drum, and it feels to me that Top Esports are really skipping steps, or they are trying to play too fast, trying to look for anything. Who has a flank? Maybe, but Mikhail's is up for Vampire, and he has the ultimate. I just don't think this is a real angle, and they're leaning so far topside. It's just not even a realistic angle coming in for Top Esports.
I think when you're at this point in the game, though down 6,000, you know, staring a Cloud Soul in the face, you have to take an angle that might be a little unrealistic, even if there's just a fraction of a percent of realism to it. Maybe that's where you see the game turn around with the shock flank, as I like to call it. No play to be had. So at this point, I think you're just waiting for JackeyLove to get 100% crit. If you can get there before the dragon and saying, all right, buddy, you're an AD carry with 100% crit. You are supposed to carry the fights. Yeah, this fight looks impossible, but do it anyway.
Gonna have to make do, you know? Just gonna have to just deal with it. We can't really un-7,000 gold ourselves down this much, so just gonna have to figure it out, guys. We're gonna have to problem solve very quickly. On Vision here, Vampire is gonna walk away. Gala's gonna recall and get an LDR. 4-item Sivir. This is the late game that we were prophesizing from draft. JackeyLove is 3.5 items, but I think he's a little late here. He's got his Zeal item, but it's going to be a little bit before he has a Navorian. Maybe he gets it, but it's 50 seconds before Cloud Drake, and we're already on soul point here for JDG.
Remember, if you give this Cloud Soul away to JDG, it's just bad news. They are going to be able to catch up and really utilize a lot of this movement speed well. specifically once you get into the fight for a lot of the other guys. But again, Gala is just going to be able to lead the charge from the front, sprinting at Mach 5, essentially 25 seconds until the Dragon is up. We are seeing JackeyLove catch this mid wave and head over to his team. So it does not look like he's going to be able to have the time to recall and pick up an item. Zuian is going to be marked here by Gala and forced away.
So every summoner spell is up except for Zuian, who doesn't have flash for another 20 seconds here. And that was the teleport coming in from HongQ. They're going to run Zuian down. They don't even need Gala at the actual fight. Zuian is going to have to recall and teleport back into this play. You have teleport shield, which feels nice.
We're going all in
HongQ!
on the HongQ. They blow him up immediately. That is huge. But Zhuo has to run for the hill.
Oh my god!
On a Gala! And all of a sudden, Top Esports might have a chance. Throw to the wall is Tian, but JDG have to run. What a look from Top Esports to keep themselves in it.
How do they find that fight? How do they find that angle? They were winning so hard before this. HongQ walks up right into a blade collar. JackeyLove is saying, thank you very much. I'll shake your hand when we cross the stage later tonight, and I'll thank you for that complete find. That window keeps them here. And then Gala walks into the shockwave. I said, look, hey, it's a short-range composition. You don't want to do this. HongQ, you just can't do that. That is a plain, flat-out mistake coming out from the mid laner of JDG. And then you're a short-range AD carry, but you're walking into the shockwave, no spell shield. He tries to cleanse the damage. Dragon goes over to Top Esports, and much-needed breathing room here in Game 2.
And JDG were not on the same page right there. I think Gala thought they were going to fight for that vision, and you immediately see the rest of JDG turned onto Tian. The big reason why that Gala was not traded out there. So it's still a big mountain to climb for Top Esports. It's still a favorable late game composition for JDG, but as long as Top Esports keeps themselves in the game, they're gonna have a shot. The problem is,
oh my God.
Zhuo is alive! No, he's finally dead. It's the bouncing blades. I thought he was out for a moment. Big power play for JDG coming up.
He got bouncy castled the entire time. I want to see his death recap, because it surely says 3 to 4 seconds of crowd control. Back to back to back there. All right, JDG, what can we do? We've got no ultimates from our bot lane, but we're pushing in. We've got these 3 grubs. It doesn't seem like they're going to try to make the push onto the inhibitor line here. 50 seconds before Dragon, or before the Baron spawns, and JackeyLove lost his flash in that last play.
JackeyLove is going to have to make miracles happen for Top Esports to win this game. We said that earlier, so flash or no flash, it's all the same. Creme is looking to finish his Zonias shortly. He will still only be on 3 items. Doesn't really have a ton of damage. I was thinking that, hey, if Gala gets caught with a shockwave and only a shockwave, it's not going to be enough to kill, but we saw that earlier. It is indeed enough to kill, so just really have to be worried about that.
Top Esports fans, do you believe in miracles? Do you believe that JackeyLove and Creme can turn around this game state? And as for JDG, it's all about closing this one out. You have so much crowd control. We talked about the simplicity of a draft like this. Zuian is on a flame.
Stun onto Xiaoxu. Tian is coming in over the top. Over on the backside does a lot of damage.
They want
JunJia. The
JunJia.
is going to be onto JunJia. He's able to escape them.
Though that's expensive. That is Grand Starfall, and you get the quickness out from the Rakan. Gala and Xiaoxu!
Oh, the going golden is Creme.
Oh no!
Big impact! The knockups! The bouncy castle! That one isn't for rent! It's owned by JDG! And Top Esports have just their top and support alive! The RNG banner flies from Gala as JDG flies down the mid lane and is looking to 2-0 Top Esports!
They made it look easy here, Yanni. They had Galio come over top. Xiaoxu, very doubted. I mean, very maligned, and now it is one last team fight. It's not enough here, Yanni. Jindong Gaming are going to move to 7-6, and they're going to completely trounce a Top Esports that is 9-4.
And Top Esports, with this tough loss, means that they are not able to get a bye. They are locked in for 3rd now.
Yep, can't make it up between them and AL. AL at +9. Top Esports now at +5, being 9-5. Very, very tough for them. Look, they're going to be playing against the 6th seed anyway. No other team can challenge them. They are locked for 3rd for Top Esports. But JackeyLove losing his flash in the last dragon fight spelled doom. He's not able to get away from Xiaoxu, and we didn't get to see them be able to really punch back in this one. They had one good fight around that dragon, and it all came crumbling down after that.
Oh, what a game from HongQ, man. This guy played so well, had some really excellent Galio ultimates, and all I could just see in that last fight as Creme's and Zonia's and the hero's entrance is coming is the Willem Dafoe meme where he's like looking up in horror
I
as
thought
Galio
it was going to be the one where he's sitting
descends.
like this, you know?
No, as Galio descends from the skies and just slams Top Esports. What a game from JDG. I have to say, this game has not alleviated any concerns from both of these teams, frankly.
Nope.
Because Top Esports obviously have shown that these early games, something is wrong with them. They are not consistent. And JDG have not shown that they can beat a team that has a consistent plan in the early game because Top Esports doesn't have one.
You know what also this means? JDG get 4th now. They have a +2 game score. They have another series tomorrow, but even if they lose that one, they can't get beaten by WE, who have already played their last series and lost to LGD earlier tonight. So we already have our top 4 teams basically decided. We're kind of waiting on... well, actually, AL can't get first, so they just lock second. We have our whole top 4 done.
We're done.
Awesome.
We did it. The last day means absolutely nothing. Thanks.
Awesome. That's we're just done. All right, guys, we'll see you in a week and a half. Watch for tomorrow to see what.
There are some cool matchups. Please show up tomorrow.
Yeah.
BLG versus AL, I'm sure, is still going to be very good. I think that both of those teams are going to take it very seriously. Thunder Talk versus LGD is incredibly intriguing because you know these teams are going to fight hard against each other, mostly because they both have something to prove, and we're really looking out for Thunder Talk, I think, specifically in that series to really show us something, because I think earlier in the split, this was a team that we thought was maybe going to be a wild card in terms of being able to beat anybody, but lately haven't really shown that same magic.
Man, what an insane series, and what an insane slate of games today, by the way, Yanni. Like, we're having a whole lot of fun. We're having some really wacky stuff going on with LGD starting off and looking good. Ninjas with Pajamas just completely camping them out. Yeah, that was good. Man, I'm just like shocked right now. Top Esports, what happened? What happened to this team? What happened to the Top Esports I used to know and love? What happened to Tian? Someone joked in chat earlier that like the only bad thing that's ever happened to Tian is he just saw Crab, and everything past that was bad. But even this game, like the Pantheon just looked kind of bad.
I'll tell you what happened.
Being honest, what's up?
I'll tell you what happened. They sent their support to Nirvana.
They shouldn't have gotten rid of Fengyue. You're right. If this is actually just
they really
cosmic justice.
They really shouldn't have. Like, I do not think that was the right call at all. I understand that there were likely other factors as to why, rather than just like the way he played at MSI, because he wasn't particularly great. But we cannot be doing this to a rookie player. We can't just be like, yeah, man, get out of here. Like I don't know. I still think this guy has like a ton of room to grow. I don't think it's a surprise that his team is far and away the best team in Nirvana, even against this IG team that has been revitalized with the return of the Shy. I wanna ask your opinion on some MVPs first for the rest of this game before we kind of get into some takeaways from the day. I think this is probably a HongQ MVP for this game. I'm not sure about player of the series though.
I think Gala's probably going to get player of the game for this one.
Not after that Shockwave.
Hey man, you're playing Sivir. If you're not playing Sivir and you're not getting hit by one Shockwave, I feel like you're kind of a freak. You know, you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta tank one and give the team some, gives them false hope. and then so that they jump into the next fight and lose immediately.
Oh, Vampire.
I mean, if
Vampire.
we're just saying that,
Vampire.
if we are, oh yeah, Vampire. That's right. Yeah, we did.
We
say
can't
we
forget
were gonna
about
get to him. Yeah. Okay. Wow. This might be a three-legged horse race. I don't know.
What happened to the fourth leg on the horse?
We gave it to Top Esports.
Dude,
okay?
what? Dude, what happened in the year of the horse?
I don't know. Okay, so HongQ, Gala, Vampire for player of the game. Player of the series, though.
That's a tough one. You know, I am willing to give it to JunJia because he did play a solid Vi game. Like, he didn't do anything spectacular, but he didn't really have many bad plays, if any, and was generally making good impact in these fights. And because he won Game 1 MVP, I think it's more likely that they'll give him player of the series, just because the impact he had in the 2 games compared to anybody else that you could give it to.
My producer is flaming me, asking me what is a three-legged horse race. Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Getting a look here at the damage charts. I do want to talk about, today's results. So LGD defeated Team WE 2-1.
Correct.
NIP a 2-0 over IG, and then of course this JDG series. I know that earlier we'll start with Nirvana first. I know that earlier we were talking about, like, hey, watch out for these Nirvana boys, NIP and IG. I think you are maybe just saying, hey, watch out for NIP at this point. I'm not sure if IG has what it takes to be a major player here, and I'm worried that they're probably not going to make regional finals.
I think Invictus Gaming will make very easy work of Thunder Talk. Thunder Talk have been very unimpressive in the last couple of weeks. I think that if you're looking for On and Feather to be the big carries, the thing that we saw from the last play-in series versus these two actually was Nya and Renard sharing a spot in mid lane, and both of them getting clapped up by Mr. Haru and Junhao. That team was very clearly dysfunctional, and they're just... I mean, fair play to Breathe for what he did and getting completely trounced by Keshi, but I do think that there's levels to it, and I think that this Thunder Talk is not going to get as lucky as they did last split.
I don't know.
Now,
I still
what
think
happens
these solo
afterwards?
laners have a shot. And
what happens
and
afterwards?
Junhao,
I don't know.
I think they could lead the way. I don't know. I don't think this is as clear-cut and as easy as you think it might be. But I have a soft spot for this Thunder Talk team. I really like what they bring to the table. So I might be a little biased, or might be holding them in a bit higher regard than maybe that I should.
I think the series can be close, but ultimately I do feel like the lights are going to maybe be a bit bright. Also, this will actually be a play-ins that is played in an arena. That was another big part of Split 2 play-ins.
Very nice.
Split 2 play-ins got moved last minute from the NIP stadium to remote. All of them are remote because Weibo couldn't make it.
Yeah, there was. That's why we had so many upsets, because stage games and at home games. Listen, I always play better at home than compared to the very few times that I'm in a PC bong, but that's why I play on my Smurfs.
That's why I'm not going to say it's 100% the reason why we saw a lot of upsets, but I do think it did play a factor.
It's a contributor for sure.
A big contributor for especially some of our older players who really kind of feed off of that stage energy and the routine that you get into of, hey, we're going on stage, we're going to play, all right, we're going to go to review, and now we're going to like keep going back and forth and holding that momentum, hearing the gyos when the game is starting, that kind of routine that you get into. That is, to my knowledge, at least for right now, not going to be the case unless there is a last-minute emergency as well. So I do think things are going to be a lot different just from an environment, and obviously this Invictus Gaming team is a lot different than it was in Split 2. But moving on from them, Edward Gaming versus Ninjas Pajamas. Thank you, Gala. Thank you for picking up the player of the game. Well-deserved. This guy was aura farming in front of so many... 91% KP, by the way. He was standing in front of enemy carries.
Come on.
What do you mean it's like a Jarvan KP? He's playing Sivir.
You pop your ultimate and you're guaranteed to get at least, like, assists on any kill that you don't get.
I think
She's
you
just
mean
a Jarvan
Jarvan
of bot
E.
lane.
Jarvan E gives you an AoE like attack speed, and it just gives you...
you get an AoE movement speed on Sivir Ultimate. Like, it's the same thing.
I disagree.
You know I'm right.
Player
you know
of the
I'm right.
series. Player of the series.
I do want to say, this is a deserved player of the game. I think you could have given it to a lot of members of JDG.
One HongQ vote, one JunJia
wow.
vote.
I'm a little disappointed in that. No shouts for Vampire, who was a big reason why they won a lot of those early fights. Again, you're just on these champions. It's so hard to really keep an MVP vote in the forefront of your minds.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see another vote for HongQ. But overall, you can't really be too upset when everybody on the team generally plays pretty well.
Player of the series. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Gala. Gala's going to get player of the series.
I guess he is.
Gala or JunJia. JunJia played a much better Vi game, but Gala's Jhin was good for most of the game, but it was just quiet.
Yeah.
And then Gala's Sivir was very loud and upfront.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
This is fine. And you know, this is nice, mostly because, again, the numbers support that Gala has been pretty good this split. It's just a little bit harder for some players compared to others when we were on mages. And now that he's getting a return to traditional AD carries, I really hope that this kind of shows that, like, hey, you know, this guy is still playing at a pretty decent level. I think if you voted for him for All-Pro, you know, it wouldn't be a terrible vote. I don't know if I'd pick him first, but I'd certainly consider him for third.
Are you gonna make the argument that JackeyLove is second?
No, absolutely not. No, not at all. His solo laners. Yeah, so I mean, JackeyLove has been okay. He hasn't had to do anything though, because his solo laners have been doing a bulk of the work, and that's not to like disparage JackeyLove. It's just how good his solo laners have been. Unfortunately, there's only so many kills and so many plays that can be made when everybody on the team is making plays.
Well, remember, if you disagree with Yanni or you just want to submit your own ballot, get
Please
to
do.
the Discord. ! Discord in Twitch chat right now. You'll see it in the announcements tab. You have until Sunday, 5:30 p.m. PDT. That's the end of our show here, everybody. We had a 2-0 for JDG. We had a 2-0 for Ninjas of Pajamas versus Invictus. And then LGD with a pretty clean 2-1 victory up against Team WE. Yanni, any last words before we send them off and send ourselves off to the ether?
Absolutely. You know the last words have to go to our absolute GOATs, our elite coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mung, my boy Gelati, hopefully we'll get to hang out soon, and Andrea Duran. Their pledged financial contributions will help level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. The last day of the regular season is upon us. Thunder Talk versus LGD, covered by J Beto and Grapes. JDG versus EDG, covered by Quacks and Slayer. And then AL versus BLG. That is our boy Alk and Rafa on the cast. No, Rafa.
That is Rude Dude. That is Rude Dude and Rafa. I swapped with
Rude
Dude today.
All right, excellent. It's Rude Dude and Rafa, which is still a damn good cast. Those boys know how to chop it up, and it's going to be great. Stakes might not be there, but we hope that you will be. Good night from everybody here on the LPL English broadcast, and we will see you tomorrow.